Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Ryan. Ryan is a lawyer from Houston in Texas in the USA. So let's see what Ryan has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello Ryan,
Hi,
how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Very well. Ryan. So before we start the game, just tell me where are you from, Ryan?
I grew up in South Carolina in a small college town called Clemson, where Clemson University is. But I have lived in Houston, Texas since 2002.
Oh wow! Oh, the same year when I moved to Portugal.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
Brazil.
moved. I had never been to Texas before. I moved here to go to law school.
Right. So that's what the reason.
Yeah, that was the reason for. I went to the University of South Carolina in Columbia, and after college, I spent 14 months in South Africa, in Cape Town, studying there.
Wow.
And then afterwards, I moved to Houston to go to law school.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. And what do you do for a living right now?
Currently, nothing. Well, I am an attorney. For the past 12 years, I owned and operated an art gallery. I also founded or co-founded a nonprofit for artists, and the purpose of which is training them on entrepreneurial skills and how to sell their artwork on their own without having to rely upon like a third-party gallery owner, kind of giving them the skill set to have their own financial freedom. That career was very much tied to my soon-to-be ex-husband, who is an artist. And so in December, I transitioned out of that career and am currently making some decisions about what I want to do next.
Right. It's always as well exciting, isn't it? When you kind of try to get something, on the way.
It's very exciting, and I'm very, very fortunate to be in a position where I have a little bit of time where I can really reflect and decide what is important to me and what's going to give me the most satisfaction moving forward. Sometimes I was a little stressed in thinking that I would have to find a job very quickly, but just kind of the way things worked out, I've had the benefit of some time, and I'm very excited about moving forward.
Very good, Ryan. Are you a model, by the way, as well? Do you work as a model as well? Because I was checking your profile and so many beautiful pictures. Like, oh my God, that's amazing.
Thank you very much for asking. I cannot call myself a model. I have a lot of respect for models as a profession. I enjoy modeling as a hobby. I've done it now for about 4 years, just as a sort of pastime, and I just get a tremendous amount of pleasure out of the experience.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Very good.
Thank you.
Okay, Ryan. So welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I've got my best friend, full of random fun questions. Okay. So what I'm going to do now? I'm just gonna play some music just for us to get a bit in the mood before the first question. Are you ready?
Okay.
What are you drinking, by the way?
Black coffee.
Black coffee. Cool.
Yeah.
Right. I hope you like the music. Let's do it. Okay, Ryan, ready for the first question?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. So the first question is, have you ever stolen anything and how did it happen? When you were a child?
Yes, I have a very, gosh, that's an interesting question. I remember, so I grew up in the upstate of South Carolina, which is near the Blue Ridge Mountains. It's a part of the Appalachian Mountains. And, sometimes for a family outing, we would go up to the mountains. and we stopped. We stopped at a gift shop,
Right.
and they had. I remember it was. I don't remember what it. I think it was like a little beaded wallet, like handcrafted Native American wallets, maybe like little leather. It was very small, and I really wanted it, and my parents would not buy it for me, and I stole it. And
Just sneaking.
and I don't know how. We didn't even. I think, like in the car, my dad realized that had happened, and that
Oops.
never happened again, ever. Yeah, like it was. I learned that I didn't need to learn that ever again. So,
He was clear. He was straightforward, clear about it.
that's you don't do that. Yeah.
It happened to me exactly the same as well. I remember when I was like, I don't remember my age, but I was very young, and I went to the shop as well. But for me I think it was a candy or something that I literally just put in my pocket, like very briefly, and my dad got it, and he said to me, I remember the lesson. My God, his words was just like enough for me to understand that was wrong, and if I'll do that again, I'll be in trouble next time. So
Yeah.
I'll never forget that.
I was in trouble right then. Yeah.
All right. I didn't get to this stage. I was like, he was different approach. Let's go for the second one. Hey Ryan, just before the next question, tell me what's the most exciting part of living in Houston?
I am a big fan of Houston, Texas. I love it. I would say, sorry, what did you say? The best thing? The best
Yeah,
thing?
what's the most exciting part of living there?
The best thing about Houston, Texas is its diversity. Many people might not know this around the world, but it is actually the most diverse city in the United States, more than New York City.
Oh, wow.
We have, I don't know the number of countries that have citizens here that are represented in Houston, but it's more than any other city in the United States. And so because of that, our food and art scene, everything is very, very vibrant, and that's because of the diversity.
Oh, very interesting. I didn't know that. Just made my
Yeah.
day now. Something new. Next question is, what's the best advice have you ever received?
Well, I'll say the first thing that came to my mind. Sorry, it's emotional. When I went off to college, my grandmother passed away a few years ago in 2018. She was very special. She lived to be 96, and she wrote me a letter and said that she congratulated me on going to college, and I had won a scholarship. She was very proud of me.
Right.
And she reminded me, though, that when I went away to college, I think the way she said it is, don't forget what your last name is, or something like that.
Right.
And what it meant was, when you go out into the world, you are a representative of your family. So act right. Like, don't, I think she understood that I was very excited to have fun in college, but always remember to mind your behavior.
Oh, that's sweet. Very sweet.
Yeah.
Very nice. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad that this question came along to you. I'm very glad. Good memories.
I'm very glad. I haven't thought of that in a very long time. I've told that story many times actually, but it's been a long time. I did love college, and one thing I signed up and was selected to do was You have students that serve as orientation leaders during the summer to welcome the new freshman class and give them tours and tell them what to expect. And they would have a panel for parents. So the parents would get to ask us questions. And they would often ask that, what's the best advice? And I would tell that story about my grandmother.
Oh, very nice. Very glad. It's funny you say that because I have, again, the Magic Box is quite special because all the questions they are over here and I just pick up a random question. And I always believe, since I started doing this show, I always believe that the right question comes to the right person. And I had so many stories that people, for example, someone got emotional one day as well. It was something about family. I don't remember the question, but it was something about his mom. I mean, it was about his mom, the question, but the answer, it made remember his memory with his mom. And he was so emotional and it was so beautiful. So yeah, I'm glad.
Well, I'm going to tell you also that, well, I don't care if I get emotional the whole time, but the first two, I also lost my dad in 2018. So I miss him. He was a wonderful father. Mm-hmm. And so that first question was also a little...
Right, let's go the different direction. Let's try to get
No, it's okay. I love this. I love
Very
it.
Good. Let's go for another one. Let's do it. Ryan, let's get another question for you. Describe yourself in one positive and one negative word only.
A positive is motivated.
Okay.
A negative is I have so many negatives. I'm trying.
Take your time.
Let me just impatient.
Impatient. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Let's go for another question. Right. Just before the next question, Ryan, what do you miss the most about South Carolina?
What do I miss the most?
Of South Carolina.
The people, my friends. So I lived in South Carolina all through, the beginning of elementary school, all the way through college. And I maintain friendships with people from when I was 8 years old. Some of them are still my very close friends. And so many of them still live either in South Carolina or there's the neighboring states are North Carolina and Georgia. So I'll have some friends that live in Charlotte, North Carolina, or Atlanta, Georgia. I miss my friends. Yeah.
Good. Right. Next question is, what's the worst advice have you ever given?
I'm going to have to maybe take a pass on this. I'm just one of those people. I'm not saying I give perfect advice at all. I certainly don't. But I believe in the advice that I give. I think about it very carefully. I mentioned to you earlier, part of my career for the past 12 years really involved a lot of mentoring and coaching and kind of giving advice to emerging artists on how to grow their career, market their artwork. And so I give professional advice very, very confidently. But even in those relationships, I would always tell the people that I'm mentoring or coaching, not all of my advice might be for you. You take it or leave it. This is just based on my experiences and my successes and failures. And so I would always qualify my advice and say, here's my suggestion, then it's going to be up to you.
I see.
So,
understand. Okay.
Yeah.
The next question for you is, very good question. If you're not yourself, would you like to be yourself?
Yes. If I was not myself, would I like to be myself?
Yes.
Yes, I would. Yeah,
Why?
I've been very, very fortunate in my life. This is another emotional question. Uh, I have, well, the greatest. Um, I have a lot of privileges. I'm aware of them. I, the greatest thing that I've ever had is my parents are wonderful. So not everyone has that, and I think when you have that foundation of unconditional love from your parents, and that they set a good example of how to show respect for one another and other people, and instill in you values uh, such as the importance of education, I would definitely want to be myself.
Very good. Very good. Do you have siblings as well, brother and sisters?
I do. I have one older brother. He's 5 years older than me. Where I mentioned he lives in Charlotte, North Carolina, so very close to South Carolina, where we grew up. He just has his career and family there now, and my mom actually lives very, very close to him, and so when I go back, I get to see everyone. He is also a lawyer.
Wow, that's amazing. Very good. Another question. Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay, Ryan. And just before the next question, and what's the most challenging part of living in Houston, in your opinion?
Thank you for allowing me a little time to answer these questions.
Please.
You know, let me just give a couple of answers to this one. Houston, just as an overall problem, it's very, very spread out. So we have some transportation issues. Traffic is a problem. They've instituted a light rail and some things, but it's just, as the fourth largest city in the United States of America, you know, when you look at New York or Chicago, they have public transportation that is outstanding. In Houston, yes, we have metro buses and things, but you sort of have to have a car, and that's for a major city. We should have some better infrastructure, in my opinion. This is probably going to run consistent with a lot of cities, but Houston certainly has this too, and it's very well articulated by our current mayor, Sylvester Turner. I'm a big fan of his. There's two Houstons. There's the Houston of affluence, and there's the Houston of poverty. And it's very, the divide is quite obvious, and it's not right. And I believe in every effort that is being put into place to make things more equitable for our city.
Ooh, good answer. Wow. Next question is, which talent do you wish you had?
The only one that comes to mind is I can't sing. I wish I could have a beautiful singing voice.
Cool. But you still sing?
Or not really. I mean, I love music. I really am inspired by music. I like all genres of music. But no, I don't. I'm not going to win any awards for my singing.
I think you're being modest now. You're just being modest.
No. I would be proud of it. No, it's just I don't know. I obviously have a lot of love and respect, big respect for talented artists in all fields. So visual arts, performing arts. And so singers and musicians, I just think that's a skill, or singing or playing an instrument. So anything like musical like that, I would love to have that talent.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's go for another question, Ryan. Do it. Right, let's go for the next question. Oh my God, all the questions for you. Look this question now. What makes you very sentimental?
You're really trying to break me down here.
Should I take another one? I can take another one. I don't want you to.
No, I'll answer it.
All right.
What makes me very sentimental?
Without getting sentimental.
Well, I've already talked about this, but I'd like to answer with the first thing that comes to my mind. And it is my father. And particularly during the pandemic, when everything really quieted down, and prior to the pandemic, my soon-to-be ex, we lived in a very, very beautiful home, gorgeous, that combined where we lived personally with also our large art gallery space. And so we would often have guests coming in and big events, and it was very, very busy. And that was wonderful and fun and great for business. But when things quieted down, it was also wonderful. It was very good for our mental health. And with that, though, it just allows you to be a little more introspective. And I got into some nice routines, and in the evening I would cook dinner for myself and listen to music. And I would miss my dad a lot. And the word sentimental is a great word there, because when I think of him or reflect on him, it's very positive. I don't have like a pain inside me, because we very fortunately, nothing was left unsaid between us. He was just great. And so thinking about him gets me very sentimental, obviously.
He's really that's nice. I think it's a beautiful thing. I think it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Wherever he is, he will appreciate that for sure. That's for sure. Good. Yeah. Right. Let's get another question for you. Okay, Ryan. Next question for you is: where do you want to be in 10 years' time from now?
I don't know. I don't think you mean in a location literally. Just maybe where I am in my life. I would like to be working. I love to work. My kind of vision now, I would like to own my own business. And I would like the business to be successful enough to, one thing that's very, very important to me is supporting the community around me. And I believe any business has a kind of moral obligation to support the community that supports it. So I would like to have a business that's successful enough to allow me to live comfortably. I don't need too much, and I do like to save for one day when I do want to maybe stop working. But what I'm saying is I'd like to make enough money to where possibly I could form a nonprofit or foundation that is then has the ability to give away money. You know, that I am a business man. I'm very passionate about business and growing a business. but I'm doubly passionate. And so that involves making money, and that's thrilling to me. But what's deeply satisfying is giving it away. And so I'd like to be in a position where I can be okay financially, but be able to help people that are less fortunate than me.
Very good. I'm sure it will happen, for sure. That's for sure.
I think so. Yeah.
That's great. Are you enjoying the show so far, Ryan?
Very much. Yeah.
Yeah? Great.
No, I like to talk about myself.
Very good. You are in the right place.
Thank you.
Let's go for another question.
Thanks.
Before the next question, how was your when you came out as gay? Do you always had the support of your family? I believe so, but how was it, the whole process of it when you came out? If you don't mind to share.
No, I was very fortunate. I mean, there's a little story there. I knew I was gay from a very young age. I can't even identify how old that was, but before 10, 8, I don't know, but I knew that. And I also had a very clear understanding that wasn't accepted in our society, or it was looked down upon as being bad. Fortunately for me, I didn't have a family or a religious circumstance that was very negative about gay people at all, but it just wasn't discussed. I did not know any gay people. I didn't. And so of course, for a while I thought I could think myself out of it, but that's not possible.
Of course.
So I timed it out. I had the blessing of, I sort of orchestrated my own coming out time, and I wanted to have graduated from college. I didn't want to deal with that stress and uncertainty during that time. I just was selfish and wanted to have fun. And so I am still proud of the age that I came out. I was 22, and I actually came out of the closet on Christmas Day. To my family, and we were in Mexico, and for a while my family got away from the traditional Christmas, which was a lot of fun. We went on a little trip. We went to Las Vegas, and we did the trip to Cancun, and it was on the Cancun trip that on Christmas Day, like, I presented them, my mom and dad and brother, with presents, and we had a family rule that you couldn't spend more than $20 on the gifts, and everybody's gift was really the trip. But we would give these little gifts that it was really just the thought that counts. And so I presented 3 movies to my family, and my dad got In and Out, and my brother got Philadelphia, and my mom got As Good as It Gets. And they're opening them, and the reason I had to do this, I had to force myself. I couldn't allow myself to back out. I had to do an act that was gonna make me come out of the closet. And so, when they get these, I'm sure they just thought they were nice movies, and I said, y'all might see that there's something in common with these movies. They all feature gay people, and I'm gay. And that was that. And so, Merry Christmas. And no, it was beautiful. It was very beautiful. And then I think I just started talking for 20 minutes about a lot of different things, and
of course.
like just trying to not allow any silence. And I know one of the things I said very quickly was, y'all can ask me anything you want at all. I will answer any questions, but you do not need to ask me if I'm confused. There is no doubt about this. There were some tears. You know, of course, my parents were just concerned, and mainly that I would have been suffering, and of course, it was just tense. But okay. And then my brother was like, "So why don't we get out of here?" And we went to like the lobby and played cards after that. So,
wow.
Go ahead.
Sorry, do you think your parents, they knew it? Somehow they knew it about it?
I know for certain my father did. My mom says she didn't. But you know, you can kind of look back at a lot of things, and I think it's hard. There's so many things. I mean, I had a girlfriend in college that I loved and very much, and she's she's still my best friend. No, I always had girlfriends. It's just one of those things, you know, that I wasn't like typical guy. They were just my friends, and just a lot of different things. Probably, I don't know, my personality. It wasn't a big shock.
Great. Next question is, what's the soundtrack of your life, and why you consider that?
Well, I'm gonna have to pick Over the Rainbow.
Okay.
Just give me a second. I mean, all of these questions are really. I'm just. I don't know. Maybe I'm just very emotional today. But I think I would select that song. Number one, that's my favorite movie of all time. Is The Wizard of Oz. I can't say enough about it. It's just it's genius, and so the relationships are very, very special. But I would say the song is about you know, longing and always wanting to get to somewhere that's beautiful, and that's how I live my life.
Very good. Very good. I love that. Great. Another question for you.
Okay.
Okay, next question is, what makes you most uncomfortable about dating?
I don't know. I haven't been on a date in at least 17 years. Matt, I don't know if I need to explain. So we're actually still legally married. We're just kind of finishing up the final paperwork. Everything about our case was settled last year. So we're just finishing things up. But I'm not dating. I'm not interested in that right now. And so the last time I was been on a date would have been with my ex-husband, and that would have been in like 2003. I'll just say now it's probably going to be reversed. Maybe I don't know what type of man, you know. I do have an idea of men that I'm generally sort of attracted to, but I don't think I have a type. When I was young and dating, what I found, what was the question? What's awkward about?
Comfortable. What you feel comfortable about dating?
Uncomfortable. Well, when I was young and dating, I wasn't attracted really so much to men that were my age. They seemed immature to me. I liked men that were a little older and motivated and into their careers. And some of them did find me attractive and would ask me out on a date. And we would go out on a date, and I would start to engage them about their career or politics or, you know, what's happening in the media. And they were not interested in talking about that. They, I think, had pigeonholed me into something a little different. And so that was uncomfortable for me. I didn't have a lot of second dates because they, I think, were looking for a person that was a little less challenging.
That's for sure. Right, Ryan. I have 3 questions left for you, okay?
Okay. Okay.
Okay, Ryan. Next question is, tell us about your earliest memory in life.
All right, so I'm just gonna have to again say the first thing that comes to my mind. Before we lived in Clemson, South Carolina, there was a period of time that we lived in another small South Carolina town in the upstate of South Carolina called Gaffney. And I just remember there was this thing where birds would build these nests on top of our house or on the chimney or something. And then sometimes you would see in the yard there was a broken egg, or like a baby bird had fallen and died. Ooh. And I had to be 3 years old. I had to be like 3.5. I remember that. I don't know why. That's my earliest memory. I don't know why.
It's all right.
I don't know. It's not necessarily positive, but it wasn't. It wasn't traumatic. I don't think about this, but it just was. It was. I guess it was a shock or something, and maybe my parents had to explain. So I remember. I don't know. That's my earliest memory.
That's good. 2 questions left.
Okay.
Next question is, where are you planning to go for your next holidays?
That's a great question. I don't know. You know, I am very, very anxious to travel again. I miss it. I will say this is interesting. You know, every year for about the past 5 or 6 years, except for 2020, in the fall, I would take a very large trip by myself, because it sort of was at the conclusion of our business year. Our biggest events of the year were in October, and then I would take a trip off into Europe for like a couple of weeks. And I went to Berlin, and I went to Brussels and Paris and Amsterdam and blah, blah, blah. And what was on my radar for 2020 was getting back to London. I haven't been to London in probably 7 or 8 years now, but I went several times, at least twice, for the new year, because we had friends stay there, and it was the most fun. So I would like to get back to London. That internationally, I would say there. Domestically, I am also a huge fan of New York City. I miss it. We were actually there in January of 2020, so it hasn't been too long. But in terms of a trip, I would love to get back to New York.
Good, very good. Yeah. Right, ready for the last question?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Okay, simple one. What makes you laugh out loud?
So I'm just gonna, again, first thing that comes to mind is something that I've really enjoyed recently. It's on Netflix. It's an Australian comedy called Kath and Kim. Are you familiar?
No, I'm not. I'll check it out.
Okay. I've watched all 4 seasons about 4 times just like in a row.
Wow.
And I don't know why this resonates with me so well, but it's about a mother and a daughter, and they are just so, it's kind of like Ab Fab a little bit, but different. I mean, there's very, very strong character development. They're brutally honest with each other. The daughter is just so selfish that it's so funny. She's so mean to her husband, and it's just and maybe the thing is that it's Australian. I've been a big fan of kind of British comedies too. I was talking about this one the other day. Somebody put something about it on Instagram. Is keeping up with appearances with you know that show?
No, I don't actually. No. It's on TV now. It's on TV. It's a new thing.
No, I don't think it's on now. But it was about this woman who she was a social climber and was always trying to elevate their life and her husband a little more than what it was. And it just, I don't know, I guess I'm a fan of British and now obviously Australian comedies, but I highly recommend Kath and Kim. It's on Netflix.
Good. Have you watched the British one called Afterlife?
No.
Right now, Afterlife. It's so hilarious. It's very British. It's very sarcastic. You know, it's very funny. I'm sure you're not like Afterlife.
Afterlife. Okay.
Okay. Right, it's not the end of the game yet, okay? So let's play now the quick thinking game. So I'm going to give away some words and you just tell one word that comes to your mind, okay? Quick thinking.
Yeah.
Let's start with family.
I mean, the first word that came to my mind was friend.
Okay. How about money?
Cash.
Love?
Hate.
Life?
Line.
Sex?
I don't know why this was the first word that came to mind.
Tell me.
Money. I don't know why.
Okay. How about religion?
The first word that came to my mind was free.
Okay. Politics?
I mean, the first word that came to my mind was hectic.
Fear?
Love.
Friendship?
The first word, it's like everlasting.
Desire?
Lust.
Regrets?
I don't know why the first word that came to my mind was only.
Okay. Success?
Failure.
Wish?
Give.
Happiness?
Some words are just stuck. Freedom.
If I tell you South Carolina?
Oh, so that's what's the first word? Friends.
And if I tell you Houston?
Fun.
And the last one, United States of America.
I can. I've said this 3 times now. Freedom.
Freedom. Right. Okay, Ryan. Let's pretend now that I'm going to meet your lovely brother, and I'm going to ask your lovely brother. Tell me something beautiful about Ryan, and tell me something that he needs to improve on, in your opinion. What do you think your brother will tell me?
I think that my brother would say that I think he would say that I'm a smart man. I think he would hopefully compliment my intelligence. I think that he would say that I am a little bit too over the top sometimes in my, I mean, he's just, in his demeanor and humor, he's a little bit more reserved. I mean, we both have a sharp sense of humor, so we have that in common, but just the way I crave attention much more than he does. And I just think he would say I could tone that down a little bit.
What is your star sign?
I'm a Libra.
Libra. Okay. Interesting.
So is he. So is my brother.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
My dad as well. My dad is Libra. Which day?
I'm September 29th.
Ah, okay. My dad is 8th of October.
Okay. My brother is October 5th.
Right. Okay, Ryan, let's play now Ryan and the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question, okay? Okay, Ryan, now you can ask me a question.
Why did you select me, or what about my Instagram page made you want to interview me?
Very good question. Since I started out the show, I've been looking some profiles online. I know sometimes Instagram, they suggest and can show other profiles as well, connect with other people that we are friends with. And so I've been selecting some people online. And when your profile came along, I just look it up a little bit, and I could see you are an interesting person. And actually, I'm very surprised because I wouldn't realize that you're a very well-spoken person. As your brother was saying, that you're very well-educated, and I was expecting that. And I'm very glad that you accepted the invitation, because I loved the interaction we had. But yeah, so answer to your question, I just literally been inviting random people. So I just look it up there. I even don't go very deep in the profile. I just see some pictures, and I'm trying to invite people different parts of the world. And when I saw your profile, I could see, I just said, okay, I'm gonna invite him. Just also there is no reason behind it. Just I look it up, I saw your profile, and I said, okay, I'm gonna invite him to see if he's would like to join me in interview. That's what I like about the show. I don't know much about the person, and a lot of surprises come along. That's one of the main thing about the show. Yeah.
Well, I'm very, very happy to have done this. I like this type of experience. I like to meet you also. I did watch one of your prior interviews, like you suggested, and it was the guy. I think his name was Nathan. Maybe it was your last one that you put online.
So yesterday was, my God, so many people now. I've done already over 300 people.
It wasn't yesterday. So this guy, he wanted to grow his social media presence, and he was going to do this, either a podcast or something, where he went around the country and talked to friends up in his life. And I was like, I definitely would do that. I would do that. So I didn't know if you were seeking people that were, I don't know, trying to grow something, or I'm on the cusp of sort of launching a lot of things and
really?
Kind of growing a business. And so I didn't know if that was a commonality of something that you were looking for.
No. As I mentioned before, I don't go into details of the profile of the person, whatever they do, whatever they are. But of course, genuinely get my attention, I just send out a message. And if people reply, always, as I sent to you, all this explaining about the show, how it works and everything. And I believe that there's so many interesting people out there, sharing so much experience in their lives, their background, their point of views. And that's all about the show. It's just people connecting. And thanks so much for being kind and sweet, and take your time to be part of the show.
I want to compliment also your style is very, and your personality is very, I'm looking for the right word. I mean, it's certainly very kind, but it's very comfortable and allowing people to share their stories. And also, it's very nice that you say, we can go to another one, you know, like.
Oh, totally, yes, totally.
You know, sometimes, I don't know, just like the one about the punishment for me, I just, that's not really part of my life. I guess that's the answer. But I love that you are flexible in your interviewing. So kudos to you. I think that's really smart.
No, Ryan, just before you go, just share a positive quote or positive message, something that inspires you in life, if you don't mind.
I guess mine is going to be a little narrow. It's just been on my mind recently.
Okay.
And I played that game, or it's not a game. It's, you know, when on your Instagram stories where you just say, ask me a question, and then you reply with all these different answers. Somebody asked me a question, what advice do you have for college students? And my first piece of advice was stay in college as long as humanly possible, because the real world is real and challenging. And I had a lot of fun in college. I loved it. But my advice was also very much consider owning your own business. You know, possibly get some training from a company or a mentor, but then just in my adult life, there's not much more satisfaction I've received than being in control of my own professional destiny and being my own boss. That is very, very challenging because you got to pay those bills. Nobody's doing anything for you, but the rewards are so unbelievable when you're able to accomplish it. And then the freedom that you enjoy with your time and the ability to choose to do things that are meaningful to you. So I hope that answers your question.
Very good. I love that. Very good. Ryan, it was a pleasure. Thanks so much. Thank you very much. And enjoy your day and we'll keep in touch, okay? All the best.
Thank you. I had a great time.
Take care.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.